We've got 6 shopping secrets and tips for saving the most at TJ Maxx. I'm Kristen McGrath, the crazy coupon lady, and whether you're new to shopping TJ Maxx or just looking to shop it smarter, consider adding these tips to your strategy. Tell us in the comments about your favorite TJ Maxx finds, tips, and tricks, and be sure to like and subscribe to the Crazy Coupon Lady YouTube channel for all our proven tips for saving at your favorite stores. Let's get into it. The burning question people tend to have about TJ Maxx is when is the best time or day to shop? And that's going to depend on your store, but at ours, we asked an employee and they do markdowns every weekday morning. Weekends are just too busy. So consider shopping on weekdays, preferably early in the day before that day's markdowns sell out. At my store, things tend to be a little picked over by Friday evening, so avoid shopping on weekends unless that's the only time you can go. Start at the runway section if your store has one, and then hit those long racks. The runway section with those purple tags is where TJ Maxx stocks designer fashion it buys from department stores, boutiques, and designer liquidation. They don't have a runway at my store, which I've always been a little bitter about, but keep an eye out for those purple runway tags on the regular racks. Runway stuff can be returned to any TJ Maxx, and you might find some purple tags at your store. I found this dress from Hutch, which is sold at Anthropologie, and I looked it up online, and it was $180. My TJ Maxx had it for $99.99, a 44% discount. Yes, you can also shop TJ Maxx's online runway section, which offers up to 40% off designer finds from brands like Rag & Bone, Gucci, Tory Burch, and more, but stores do have their own unique designer finds that you won't find online. After the runway section, head to those long racks that go down the center of the store. The long racks are a catch-all for clearance and returns, both of which are marked down. If it's discounted, it'll be here. Here's a full rundown of the tag colors, but the most important tags for saving money are those red and yellow colored tags. Red tags mean clearance price. You might see a few of these red tags slapped on as an item gets marked down more and more. A yellow tag means final clearance price. You typically see these yellow tags twice a year during the TJ Maxx yellow tag sale, which happens in January and then again in July. Yellow tag price will not go lower. If it's something you really want and it has either a red or yellow tag on it, consider getting it. TJ Maxx doesn't stock additional items when they sell out. In fact, that clearance item you're holding might be the only one in the entire store. Want to up your chance at finding clearance? Look for the off-season stuff. At the time I shopped, transitional coats were off-season, so I found a lot of clearance from Michael Kors, The North Face, and more. So to recap, your strategy is start with the runway section, then move on to the long racks, and keep an eye out for those purple tags even if your store doesn't have a runway section. At TJ Maxx, it's important to understand the difference between designer clothing and designer clothing. Our social media feeds have been flooded recently by those exposés about designer labels supposedly sourcing from China. All that aside, at TJ Maxx, there's another layer to this. TJ Maxx stocks 2 types of clothing with designer labels. One, the stuff that was actually made to be sold by the designer that TJ Maxx bought from liquidation, overstock, and high-end department stores. And 2, there's the designer stuff that's made via licensing agreements with the designers. Essentially, low-cost sellers like TJ Maxx's parent company, T.J.Maxx, manufacture their own clothing for cheaper and then pay those designers for permission to use the designer's label. It's got a similar look to what you'd expect from the designer, but it's often a simpler design made out of lower cost materials. The stuff isn't necessarily a bad value for the price, but you still want to know what you're getting. Here's how to tell, but I'll warn you, it's gotten harder. TJ Maxx used to have a label right by the care tag that said made for TJX/Watford. You'll find a lot of YouTube videos showing that tag, and it was a dead giveaway that the clothing was made via one of those licensing agreements. But those tags don't seem to be getting used anymore. We went to 2 TJ Maxx stores and looked at hundreds of tags and found not a single one. So you have to use a few context clues. First, look at the paper tag. If it has an original designer MSRP price, it's probably from that designer's actual collection. Check out this price tag from this dress. You'll see the original MSRP as well as the TJ Maxx price tag. No paper or cardboard tag with the original MSRP. It could be a licensed piece rather than actual designer. Second, look out for items that have a bunch of sizes available. Usually it's the stuff at the front of the store. That's a clue that it could be a mass-produced licensed item. Take all these Isaac Mizrahi dresses and headband sets, for example, and these Calvin Klein blouses, which were available in every size. Meanwhile, if there's just one of it in the entire store, again, check those long racks. There's a chance you found a legit designer piece. Take this kangaroo blouse from Vince. It's got the original MSRP tag, and there was only one. Online, it's $162.50, and my store had it for $99. aka 39% off. Finally, look at materials and quality. This one's hard because even luxury brands use synthetic materials these days, but do a little research. For example, looking at Elie Tahari's site, you see a lot of cotton and satin. So if you find something at T.J. Maxx that's made out of, say, polyester, that's a clue that is less likely to be a straight from designer find. That said, even on Elie Tahari's site, you'll spot some polyester stuff, so it's not foolproof. And speaking of Elie Tahari, T.J. Maxx also has their mass market Tahari brand, which is made for mid-tier department stores like Macy's. In other words, check those labels to understand what you're fully getting and check online to compare with what the designer usually sells. Don't necessarily believe the compare at price on the T.J. Maxx white tag. That compare at price could be a made-up price that the item was never actually sold for. Instead, look up the item online and see for yourself how it compares to the T.J. Maxx price, and that'll tell you if it's a good deal. For example, this Kate Spade New York belted trench coat has a compare at price of $138 and a T.J. Maxx clearance price of $80, so almost $60 off. But if you look it up online, you can see that it's sold at Nordstrom Rack for $129.97, so the T.J. Maxx price is more like $50 off. That's still a deal though. Ignore the compare at price and do your own research on your phone as you shop. Know which items you should always try to buy at T.J. Maxx before you shop anywhere else. For me, that's beauty and soaps. I have brands that I like that I consistently find a bottle or two of at T.J. Maxx for less than I can find it at Target, Ulta, or Sephora. For example, this mask from First Aid Beauty retails for $16 on Amazon, but my T.J. Maxx had it for $6, which is a 62% discount. T.J. Maxx won't always have a bunch of everything. A lot of times I'll just find a bottle or two. So know the prices of the brands you use and use your phone for a quick lookup so that you'll know if you've spotted a deal. We're going to shop for irregular and damaged goods at T.J. Maxx. There's a lot of advice out there that I keep coming across that says you can haggle on damaged goods at T.J. Maxx. So I tried it at my store, and while you can ask for discounts on damaged goods, it's not going to be a really big discount. First, I found this Rachel Zoe dress with a broken zipper. I took it to an employee, and she told me that the biggest discount for damaged clothing that I could get would be 10% off. For this dress, 10% off would get me $3.50 off. I'd probably pay a seamstress more than that. I'm not handy enough to fix it myself, so I'm going to put this one back. But good to know, 10% discount if you find damage on clothing. Then I found a broken drawer organizer in the home section. It was $8. I asked the cashier and she looked in her policies book and told me that the max discount she could give me was 25% off. 25% off wasn't enough for me to break out the wood glue, so I passed. And I'm pretty sure now everyone in the store thinks I'm a little crazy, but now you know that you can ask for discounts on damaged stuff. Don't expect it to be a very big discount though. So now you know a few things about how to save at TJ Maxx any day you go. If you really want to be strategic, shop those yellow tag sales, which happen once right after the holidays and again in the summer. During these times, you'll be swimming in those final clearance yellow tags, and the sales last around 3 weeks. Want a reminder for the yellow tag sale? Get our free Crazy Coupon Lady app, tap the calendar icon, and sign up for alerts for the yellow tag sale or any other sale you want to shop. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button to get notified whenever we post a new video to YouTube.